Before we hand our proceedings over to John and to our panel, we just want to have a few words from a man who really needs little introductions, and especially little introduction in this room. If there were ever a proud Torontonian, it is this man. We were humbled when he accepted our invitation to say a few words to kickstart this evening. His administration foresaw this day, they predicted it. The campaign that you saw earlier was part of that. One of the signature achievements of his mayoralty, I always struggle with that word, was the cancellation of the proposed $22 million bridge to the island airport. The reason it was canceled is because this is the day that they would have seen a long time ago. Throughout all the years in his politics, he's fought for a revitalized waterfront, exactly what we are standing here to do and exactly what we're fighting for. We need a Toronto where Torontonians can live, work, and play. And today he continues his advocacy for the environment as president and CEO of World Wildlife Federation of Canada. I would like to welcome former Mayor David Miller.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that very warm welcome, but more importantly, for being here tonight and for engaging actively in this fight, because when you do, it's a fight you can win, and what's more, I think it's a fight we must win. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause for your tremendous hard work and advocacy. I just came tonight to make 2 points, and I'll be brief because we've got a really distinguished panel, and I know we're looking very much forward to what they have to say, and I want to acknowledge and thank the panelists for their leadership in this city as well. All 4 of them have led tremendously in very different but important ways. The first point I want to make is that filling in our lake to run jets out of downtown Toronto and create an airport that has more traffic than the City of Ottawa airport is absolutely unacceptable, and it's wrong, and it must be stopped, and you're going to make it be stopped. I think we all know why it's wrong, but it's important to list the reasons. It's wrong environmentally. And just ask people who live near the airport what they see today from the residue of the planes and everything else. Just ask them, and they'll tell you what it's like there. It's wrong environmentally. It's wrong environmentally to pave over our lake. Who rationally would suggest that we should be paving over beautiful Lake Ontario right in front of downtown Toronto if it was disconnected from this airport? People would think you were crazy. We shouldn't be paving over our lake. It's wrong for people. It's wrong for people in the neighborhood. You know, Waterfront Toronto says that there will be over 1,715 cars per hour. Where else in the city of Toronto would people allow over 1,700 cars an hour to drive right by a school and community center? Well, nowhere. It's absolutely unacceptable. It's unsafe. It brings its own environmental hazards. It's simply wrong. It's wrong from another perspective, and you'll hear much more about this from the panel. But we're in the midst of a waterfront revitalization that is really where the future jobs in our city will be created. Not 500 jobs, not 1,000 jobs, tens of thousands of jobs. It's like 6 Canary Wharf projects. And the moment you allow jets, it puts all of that at incredible risk for safety reasons, for planning reasons, for practical reasons like construction, and for the fact that lots of industries, like the film industry and television industry, can't be in the flight paths of jets. It puts our economic future and the future of our waterfront at risk. And one more thing, which in one way I always thought was most important. The Toronto Island's a gem. We're lucky to have incredible green space right off our city in the lake, particularly as downtown develops. We need more and more green space, not less. And who uses that green space the most? It's not actually the people who live on the island, the small number of people who help keep it safe. It's not even the people who live in the condominiums on the waterfront. It's people from all over Toronto, particularly from Northeast Scarborough and Northwest Etobicoke, who use Toronto Island as their summer cottage. They come there in droves. Everyone's seen it. The ferries are absolutely packed with people loving the island, with their families for picnics, for fun, because that's in the summer where they go. They don't go to Muskoka. They certainly don't fly out of the island airport to Mount Tremblant. They use the island as their park, their backyard, and their cottage. And that's far more valuable in a built-up city like ours than a tiny bit of convenience for a few people who want to spend a few less minutes getting to the airport, particularly when in about a year and a half there'll be a train to the airport from downtown, and that convenience argument will be completely gone. So that's the first thing I want to say. There is no real argument for this. The second thing I want to say is don't let them tell you you can't stop it. We know we can. We know in Toronto that when we organize and we're right and we work with people in Scarborough, and we work with people on Etobicoke, people who live in the waterfront, people who live up north, they understand the issue. When people reach out and work together, we actually can stop these kinds of island airport expansions, because it's happened twice. In 1935, a man who wanted to be mayor, Sam McBride, was instrumental in stopping the tunnel to the island airport. And in 2003, tens of thousands of people in Toronto got together and we stopped the bridge to the island airport, which would have facilitated far worse expansion than this. And we can do it again. We can do it again. And I know we can do it again, not just because that happened to be the second day of my mayoralty on December 3rd, 2003, which I happen to remember rather well, but because throughout that campaign, we had over 76 debates. At every single debate, one of the other candidates said, you can't do it. You can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. Well, we can. We have allies. We have allies like City Councillor Adam Vaughan, who's right here in the front row. We have allies like former Mayor David Crombie, who is far more perfect than I. We have allies like some of the best minds in planning and architecture like Paul Bedford and Jack Diamond. And we have allies all across this city. We're making a huge difference right now. We can continue to do it by simply explaining to Torontonians what's at stake. Do we want to pave over the waterfront to save people 5 minutes? Literally. No, we don't. Do we want to preserve beautiful green space for families across this city, particularly those who can't afford a cottage in Muskoka? Yes, we do. And by being here tonight, I know you're committed to this cause, but I just ask you, if NoJetsTO asks you to do something, please help out. Please canvass, please knock on doors all over the city, please send emails, please show up at council, please support people like Councillor Adam Vaughan, please support your neighbors, and let's say NoJetsTO. Thank you very much, and enjoy the evening. Thank you. Thank you.